Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Healthcare Connector, where our goal is always to say the same, to amplify the voices of women and people of color in healthcare. So today I have Dr. Lindsay Banks, and of course we want to jump right in and get to know all the good things about you and what you're working on. So tell the audience a little bit about yourself and what you got going on.
So my name is Dr. Lindsay Banks. I am by profession, I'm a chiropractor, and I also work in higher education. So I'm a department chair of health sciences. And I'm a wife. I'm a mother of two. I have two boys, two teenagers. My oldest is a senior in high school, so getting ready to do the whole college thing. Just a little bit about my professional career. I've always been passionate about health and wellness, which is why I got into the field of chiropractic. And I just love to help women in particular become the best version of themselves so they can live their life's purpose and just live healthier, happier lives.
I love it. And you look wonderful to have two teenage boys, because them boys is something else. I got a 13-year-old. That's why I say that. So I'm just starting the teenage years.
I got 13 and 17.
Oh, okay. So you do a lot. Tell us a little bit about what was the educational journey to become a chiropractor, and to add in here the academic, because you're in academia as well. So what's that journey been like?
So my journey to chiropractic school wasn't a straightforward one. So I originally, when I was younger, I wanted to be a veterinarian. So I actually, all the way through undergrad, that was my plan. And so my bachelor's degree, well, I had two bachelor's degrees, but my first one was actually in zoology because that was my plan to become a vet. And that came, when I was younger, my dog died, and I was like, I want to save all animals. So that's kind of where that came from. It was a childhood dream. So when I got into college, things it changed because my senior year, I got pregnant with my oldest son, he's a senior. And so at that time, I didn't want to move too far away from home. The closest vet schools were like 3 hours away, And so I started looking into other things, and it was a guy that was in one of my zoology lab classes, and he was talking about how he was going to chiropractic school, and it was a chiropractic school that was in the area. I'm originally from the Midwest, it's the St. Louis, Missouri area, and there was a chiropractic school in Chesterfield, Missouri. So I started to look into it. I remember my dad went to chiropractic school when I was, not school, but he went to a chiropractor when I was younger. And I was kind of familiar with it, but really didn't know a lot about it. So we went to an open house, toured, and I loved it. And I ended up starting chiropractic school. With that, I graduated when I was about 26 and jumped into practice, was practicing for a while, for about 5 years. And at the time I had a 4-year-old. And I was pregnant when I graduated, actually. And so when I jumped in, I was practicing for 5 years, and it got to be a lot. And so I decided to start to teach. I wanted to start to teach. And I got this random opportunity one day. It was a Saturday, and I was doing a home health fair, and I was recruiting patients. And this lady came up to me and was like, would you be interested in teaching? Because she saw me talking about the spine. And it was like the perfect place, And so I went home, sent her my resume, and then like 2 weeks later, I was in the classroom teaching anatomy and physiology. And so my journey has kind of been unique because I started off as like a part-time adjunct, and then I went into lead faculty. And then I ended up deciding that we wanted to relocate from the Midwest down to Houston. So what brought us down here was the position that I have now, and I've been doing that since 2016. So again, I'm a department chair of health sciences, and I have 5 programs that report under me. And so it's a lot, but I love it. And then on top of that, I also do my practicing in the evening and weekends. And then I'm the vice president of Chiropractic Women of Color. So I got a lot going on.
So you definitely got a lot going on. So what do you think is a misconception that people have about chiropractors, or is it chiropractic? I'm trying to think of like the right ending to put it on. What's a misconception that people have about chiropractic? And fix my wording if I just chop that all up.
So when you're talking about chiropractic, it is chiropractic, and then when you're talking about like the person, they're a chiropractor, and that mixes everybody up.
Yes.
But it's chiropractic. So as far as the field of chiropractic, most people misunderstand, and this is truly my point of view, misunderstand the true purpose of what chiropractic care is. Now we're getting a little bit more traction because people are seeing us on social media and things of that nature. And really people think it's all about the popping noise, and just going to a chiropractor strictly because you're in pain. Yes, chiropractic care is an excellent choice to get you out of pain. And that's what the majority of people come to see chiropractors for. But chiropractic is really all about making sure the body is functioning the way that it's supposed to. And I always tell people that pain is simply a symptom. It's an alert that's telling your body that something is going on. And so when you give the body what it needs to stay in balance, whether it's an adjustment, a chiropractic adjustment, whether it's strengthening muscles that are weak or correcting some type of nutrient deficiency, when you give the body what it needs to get back in balance, then it will heal itself. So in essence, when I think about chiropractic, I think about it as a lifestyle. And it's a way of living and really looking at the body as a whole and not as individual parts. And so I think that's the biggest misconception. People just think the only thing we do is treat back pain, but there's so many other things and so many other benefits when it comes to chiropractic care. And that's one thing that I really express and educate my patients on when they come into my office.
And that's exactly why I'm excited to have you on the show, because I think especially for our communities of color that, or at least I'm talking from my experience growing up and even into the last 5 years, I thought that you only went to a chiropractor after you've been in a car accident or something, because then you get all the little letters that say, okay, come see us now. I didn't know about all of the other benefits there are to going to see a chiropractor.
And most people, that's what they think, like chiropractor car accident. But then people also, there are chiropractors that strictly deal with personal injury. So people after they get in a car accident, but you also have chiropractors who are pediatrics and they deal with babies and children. You have ones that deal strictly with pregnant moms or athletes. And so there's all these different areas that you can go. And one area that I'm going in now is the functional, I don't know if you've heard of functional medicine or functional nutrition, where I'm working on getting a certification in that, because that's the direction that I want to go and really help my my target audience, or who I deal with the most, are women, because that's where my passion is, and really helping them with hormone health, gut health, and nutrition deficiency. So that's kind of where I'll be taking my practice in the next year.
I'm so excited. We'll talk more about your practice in a minute. I think what I do want to hear before we switch to that, since you were talking about being in academia, what has that experience been like? And any tips to those of us who might want to go into academia? Because I run into a lot of us women, we have advanced degrees and we've heard, go get adjunct faculty positions or try to do this, or it's hard to get into the field. You really got to know someone. So what's your experience been like? And then what's the tip that you can give someone like me who's about to have this doctorate and trying to figure out, okay, should I really go into academia?
So first of all, my experience has been absolutely amazing. Just with some of the perks with just being in higher education, you think you get spring breaks, you get time off, you get paid holidays, you know what I mean? And then also the job that I'm in, it qualifies for public service loan forgiveness. So in 3 more years, my chiropractic and my master's degree loans are going to be forgiven. So thank God. Okay.
Yes.
But as far as the process of getting in, it was difficult. So when you think about it, like when you go to school to be and get a clinical doctorate, meaning you're like a medical doctor, a chiropractor, a dentist, or something like that. Depending on the school that you are applying to, some of them recognize the medical doctorate, and some of them say, no, you need a doctorate of education or even a master's degree. Okay. And so when I first started teaching, my first teaching experience was actually for a for-profit school. And so it was easier to get into the door because like I said, the lady observed me and she's like, okay, we want you in. And so I interviewed and got in. But the process of me wanting to move into either a community college or university, when I started applying for those jobs, looking at the description, a lot of them wanted you either to have a master's degree with 18 hours in whatever subject you want to teach in, or a PhD in that subject. And so I kept running into that. And so I would advise anybody who is in the healthcare field and you don't have like a master, like an educational degree, if you want to try it, it'll make, not saying that it's impossible, but it makes it easier. So I ended up finding a master's program, and I have my master's in exercise physiology, which again, for me, it was kind of like a hoop to jump through, because as a chiropractor, I'm like, all this stuff, I know this stuff. So literally I got a master's degree. I was still working full time. I found an online program that I could do some classes online. And then I would also have a couple classes that I have to go to in the evening. And I was able to get that. And once I got that degree, it made it so much easier for me to get into a college. And so I would recommend, if that's the route that you want to do or go, is to get some type of educational degree and something that would interest you and you enjoy. Don't just get something just to get it. Because again, that's whatever degree you get it in, that's the subject you should want to teach in. And I would also say to start getting some experience doing presentations, doing health talks, or whatever it is, to kind of start to frame your resume that you have experience with, getting in the classroom. But it's really about also who you know too.
Yeah, so it definitely is. I'm going to look into all of those definitely as I finish up this degree and figure out next steps. I want to talk about your business and your practice. Tell the audience a little bit about it. Where can they find you if they want to utilize the services? How long has it been around? What makes it different than the other services that are out there? That kind of good stuff.
All right. So my personal business is Healthy Motives 365. And so you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. And the concept behind my business, Healthy Motives 365, my slogan is finding health in every day. And essentially what that means is we have the choice every single day to make the healthier decision. And so the reason why I started it was because even as a chiropractor, a personal trainer, and all these things, I started to let life get in the way, and I started to kind of get off track. And so Healthy Motives 365, I started it back in 2017. It was an attempt to also start to get me back on the right track. At that time, I had been in higher education. I had moved down to Houston, and I was in my position. I had been a department chair for about a year, but then I started to miss the field in the profession. And so I started it off as like a blog and doing some personal training. And then I ended up getting my license in Texas, because I have my license in Missouri and I'm also licensed in Texas. So once I got my license in Texas, I went ahead and started offering some services. And as far as my business, I offer, of course, chiropractic care. I'm a wellness-based practice. And so what I do is when I treat my patients, it's not just about back pain, but we talk about nutrition, we talk about stress management, we talk about having a positive mindset, and I really incorporate holistic health into my practice. I also offer healthy lifestyle coaching, which is virtual. So it doesn't matter if you're in Texas, in Missouri, or wherever you're at. And really with my healthy lifestyle coaching, I focus on the main pillars of health and talking about mindset, nutrition, restoration. As women, especially as women of color, a lot of times we will push. And sometimes we feel guilty when we take time to ourselves. And so that's one thing that I really work with my clients, because your body can't heal if you're stressed out and you're in a state of constant stress. And so I work with my clients on a holistic basis and making sure that I'm not just talking about their spine, but we're talking about overall health. So that's a little bit about my practice. And of course, I do health talks for groups and organizations and things of that nature. And as I mentioned earlier, I am currently working to get my functional medicine certification. And my goal is to be done with that by the summer and implement those services into my business in January, so I can do hormone testing, nutrient testing, and things of that nature. Because a lot of times you have people who start to take supplements and they don't have a baseline, so they just take them because they read a blog. And so for me, I don't want to guess. I'm going to test my individuals and make sure that they're getting the right nutrients that they need so their body functions properly. So I know that was a lot.
So I want you to say that tagline again, because I felt like you were calling me out right there. Because there's been so many things going on. And the tagline you said, it was about like every day being able to make healthy decisions, or being healthy every day is one decision away. I messed it up. I don't want to mess it up.
So Healthy Motives 365, and my tagline is finding health in every day. So literally 365
Yes.
days a year, I'm making the choice to make healthier decisions.
Yes. So I wanted to say that again because I think, a lot of us, especially, high performing women, mothers, we play so many roles, and it's easy to get caught up in those roles and caught up in that work and, get out of whack. But when I heard you say that, it was just like, every day is a new day and I can make a new decision to be healthy, or I can make decisions every day to be healthy or improve my health. So I was like, okay, she don't even know she calling me out, and she is with that tagline. What are you most proud of in your business and your career?
Ooh, so this is a good one. So there's two things, if I can say two things that I'm most proud of. Number one is I'm most proud of having a career that gives me the option and the flexibility to do what I love while also enjoying my life. And so you just kind of talked about how sometimes it's hard to find balance. And in my mind, to me, I don't think we're ever going to necessarily find balance where everything is perfectly balanced. I like to look at it as finding harmony in the different things that we do. So all the different things that we do in life, they kind of correlate, and they complement each other. And so I love the fact that I'm able to, if something is going on with my kids, I can take the day off if I choose to. Or if I just need some time to reset and rest, then I can take that time. And that, to me, that's the joy of not only having, an actual position in higher education, where I have that stable income on top of having my practice. So say, for example, if I'm worn out and I need to take a week off from seeing patients, I can do that because I know that my 9-to-5 income is going to support that. And I know sometimes that can be difficult for, people because, everybody doesn't necessarily have that balance, but that's one thing that I'm proud of. And then the other thing is having a part in helping people feel better so they can continue doing the things that they love. And that's why I got into, healthcare, is because I truly love to help people. And a lot of times we're not able to do the things that we want to do, maybe because we don't feel up to it. But even if you're having back pain or you're just not feeling good overall, being able to help people feel better so they can do those things that they love. So I'm super proud of that.
Yes, I'm so proud too. And, proud because you also have, it's your own practice. So did you always know that you were going to go into entrepreneurship? And then what's been a lesson you've had to learn? Because they don't teach you about running a business in our health profession schools, whatever track you're in. They don't teach you about the business part.
No, they don't. And so I can say, as far as entrepreneurship, I always knew eventually down the line I wanted to have my own practice. I know when I first graduated from chiropractic school, I ended up doing an independent contractorship where basically I was starting my business in another doctor's office, and then I ended up branching out and sharing space with another doctor. So I always knew that I wanted to have my own business and my own practice. As far as actually doing it, it's definitely a steep learning curve when you're running your own business. And I would say the lesson that I've learned is, like, you're going to have fluctuations in your business. So when you have like a 9-to-5, you know exactly when you're going to get paid, you know exactly when that money's coming in and how much it's going to be. When you're an entrepreneur, you can have 1 week where you make $3,000 and the next week you don't make a dime, and so being able to manage that and not get emotionally drained and think like, oh my God, this week nobody's coming in or I'm not making any money, I'm a failure. So being able to control your emotions and really having a support group of other people who are entrepreneurs has really been a big help to me, because when you're in this entrepreneurship journey alone, you can feel very isolated. But when you start to talk to other people, you realize, like, okay, other people are having some of the same issues, because sometimes you get on social media and everything is perfection. It looks like everybody's business is flourishing and everything is perfect.
Yes.
And you have to be very careful of that, because it's a highlight reel. People are going to show you the best of the best, and that's why I think it's important to be vulnerable and let people know what's really going on behind the scenes as well, without indulging and giving too much of your personal information away. But that's the biggest thing, just managing the roller coaster of entrepreneurship and figuring out what direction you're on. go in with my business.
I think and you took what I was going to say next is because I was going to be like, I'm glad you're saying this because as when we look around, all we see is the really good days of the entrepreneurs. The day they made $10,000, or now they've made six figures, or now they're able to travel. And what you don't, some people do, but what you don't see a lot of is all the work that it takes on the back in the background, the fear, the stress and all of that whole roller coaster. So thank you for like being open and for sharing that because a lot of people don't, I feel.
Yeah, that's the real.
Or at
That's
least,
the real
that's
deal.
not what they post.
Yeah.
Yep. Um, has there been a resource? Is there a resource or a book or something that has really helped you on your business journey?
Well, as far as like books, I don't like read a lot of business books. I like to read like self-help books, books that
Mm-hmm.
help keep me motivated.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm in my office, right, my home
Mm-hmm.
office. So one of them is Believe Bigger by Marshawn Evans Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
I love that book.
Okay.
Right now I'm rereading a book by Tanya Dalton called The Joy of Missing Out. It's a kind of a play
Okay.
off of FOMO, the fear of missing out. So the joy of missing out. And it's
Mm-hmm.
basically saying that you don't have to do all of the things. Find your North Star, find what it is that you want to do,
Yes.
and start to work towards that and kind of shut out all the noise. You don't have to chase every little shiny object that comes into your, play, because that was my issue for a long time. Like as an entrepreneur, I'll be working on something. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I see that. I want to try that. And now I'll stop doing what I'm doing. Although I may have been making progress, now I've changed direction and I'm starting from scratch again. And so really staying focused. So that book has really
Yeah.
helped me. That's why I'm reading it the second time. Um, what else?
Yes.
Of course, Michelle Obama's book, Becoming, because we're always working
Mm-hmm.
towards the person who we're becoming, and we're not just going to play one role or have one job our entire lives. We're constantly changing and evolving into the person that we're meant to be. And that's something that I had to learn. It's okay to, like, when I first graduated from chiropractic school, I was a totally different person. I was 26. And so now, I'm telling my
Mm-hmm.
age, I'll be 40 next month. My birthday's in March. I'm a Pisces. I'll be 40, next month, and a lot of my thoughts have
Mm-hmm.
changed on where I want to take my practice and being okay with doing that and saying that and not thinking I have to stay in a certain role. I hope I answered your
Yes.
question.
Okay. So as we talk about because no, you did answer. I'm about to go. I wrote down those books because I have not read Believe Bigger, so I'm gonna go get that one and so I can read it. And Becoming is one of my favorite ones. So I'm gonna be talking about that on social media because I try to read at least 1 to 2 books each month. Um, but I want to also have a chance to highlight because you're working on, well, it's new to me, but it's not like brand new. Tell us about the organization that you are working on. You mentioned it in the beginning that you co-founded or either on the board of. Tell us a little bit about it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. 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 Yes. Be what you can't see. Yeah. Be what you can't see. That's why I'm here too. Yeah. We got to be able to see it in order to be able to visualize it. Yeah. So be what you can't see. You got it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh wow. Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm. Yes, it does. And I love what you're all doing. And it's sort of a common mission of mine because I truly believe that we need to shine a light on more women of color who are out here blazing paths in healthcare. I was just having this before I ask my last question. I was having this conversation today because we were talking about, highlighting, Black people doing Black History Month and highlighted Women's History Month is coming up. And we have a tendency to look, in the past and want to highlight those people, which is good. But I want us to also focus on the women right here in the present, like yourself, that are doing amazing things and have created careers, different types of careers, and shine a light on that so that the people that are up under us, not up under us, but the younger people, they'll be able to see there's so many different paths that you can take in healthcare. Yeah. So what's next for you? What's in the next year, 5 years? What's going to be next? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. 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 It is. It is, and we need you. We need this. We need to be able to see more women like you so that we will know that it's okay to go to a chiropractor and know that you don't got to be in extreme pain or just being in a car accident to go. Like it is preventive as well. Just like going, going to your primary care doctor and then working on those preventive measures. Seeing a chiropractor is the same, in my opinion. Now, I believe. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Ooh. Yes. Yes, right. So you all listen, we're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave on that tip. If you didn't take anything else away, which I hope you got some of these other gems, but if you didn't, please make sure you go get your spine checked and reach out. And in addition to that, make sure you reach out and follow, connect with Dr. Lindsay Banks. Definitely check out the organization, Black Women of, like, I'm messing it all up right now. So don't let me mess it up, Dr. Banks. Tell us the name. Chiropractic Women of Color. Yes. All the information will be in the show notes so that you can make sure you connect and you follow with her. Thank you so much for being on the show, for everything that you're doing, for even working with Chiropractic Women of Color to highlight more women of color who are out here, creating practices and talking about this part of healthcare, which I don't think we shine a light on enough. So I really appreciate you being on the show. Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. I definitely will. Thank you. And